All right, guys. So welcome to the Team Nikituk fundraising webinar. We are here to kick off Prostate Cancer Awareness Month and the 19 Zero Run Walks that we have over the course of the next 22 or so days here in September. So big action-packed month for us. Our goal with our races here in September is to raise $2 million to help end prostate cancer and fuel Zero's programs. I am Shawn Supers. I'm the Mid-Atlantic Chapter Director with Zero, and it is my great pleasure to have with us here this evening Team Nikituk. So we've got Cheryl Nikituk, who is one of our members of our National Board of Directors, and her two daughters, Tara and Megan, who are here as well. And they're going to share with you guys this evening their best fundraising tips and tricks and ideas. If you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to put them into the box, and we'll make sure that we get to them at the end of the presentation. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the girls. You just let me know when you want to advance slides, okay? All right. Right there.
So why we do this is because 12 years ago, my husband Paul died from prostate cancer. And he was only 55 years old at the time.
You are now being connected to the conference. Please stand by.
The conference is now in listen-only mode.
Sorry, Cheryl. Go ahead.
So we do this because of my husband Paul, who died 12 years ago from prostate cancer. He was diagnosed at 54 and died 14 months later at 55 with advanced and aggressive prostate cancer. And he started with a PSA of 142. So we became researchers and people that were doing everything we could to try to keep him alive. Unfortunately, that was not the outcome. And we decided that, and he had suggested that we do something about this disease when he was still living. So we decided to team up with Zero, and we have been doing, I guess this was our 11th race this year. We have been working with them since then. And we have been involved with the race as well as many other activities throughout the year. And that is how we came to do this. We are dedicated to Zero, and we will just continue to keep working on this together. So, and that's with my two daughters, Tara and Megan, who were in their late 20s when their dad passed away. So we also go to this, That's all I got.
All right.
So our first tip that we'd like to share with you, and we think is one of the most important ones, is to make it personal. You know your story better than anybody else, and when somebody hears it from someone who is being affected by prostate cancer, they pay a little more attention to it because they see how you feel about it, and it makes them feel a certain way about it as well. So we always try to share our story, whether it's just stories from our childhood or stories that occurred while our father was going through treatment, and things that we've done since he has passed away. As long as you are genuine and authentic, people are going to be paying attention to you. We also make sure we share this story wherever we go. We share the story with a lot of people all the time, but we are constantly on social media while we're fundraising, especially sharing our story and letting people know our connection to prostate cancer and why we feel they should be connected to it as well. Another place to share your story is the Zero Race page that you set up for fundraising. You should really take advantage of that and personalize it, because when you personalize it, people can see your story then, rather than just the standard thing that comes through Zero. So here are some examples of some posts that we have, and we have posts from Facebook and Instagram that's probably where we do most of our posting about our story, and obviously there are a lot of pictures there with my dad, and we're telling his story as we're asking for donations for Zero.
Right.
Okay, so I'm Tara. I'm one of Cheryl's daughters. And one of the other things that we've found really helpful over the years is that in addition to sharing our story, to also share facts and information about prostate cancer. So we're not just telling our story and asking for donations to Zero, but we're sharing important information about prostate cancer and, you know, the impact it has on men's lives, how prevalent it is, and things like that, because people, we've found over the years, I've noticed sometimes, you know, we've been doing this for 11 years and posting things on Facebook, and people get tired, right? I'm sure of seeing the same posts sometimes year after year. So, you know, we try to think of different things all the time, and I've met certain people over the years that have never donated before, and we post some information about prostate cancer and find that we get new donors, which is great. And I think a lot of people don't know enough about the disease, and so it's great to help educate and spread awareness. We've done it in a few different ways. I mean, one great way is, as you're doing all of this, Zero has tons and tons of information on their website to leverage. And that's usually the first place I go when I want to find some helpful information about prostate cancer and the latest statistics. So I'll go to their website. I'll also just go to Zero's Zero's Facebook page. So like that blue rectangle there in the bottom corner is actually an image that I probably just copied from Zero's Facebook page. And it's all done for you. The information's there. It looks good. I just paste it into a post, put some, you know, other information a lot of times, and type in the link to our fundraising page. And it's easy. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it. You can leverage a lot of what Zero already puts out there on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Other things we've done is just try to get like creative over the years and come up with, you know, here's the top 10 reasons to get involved, or top 10 reasons why you need to know more about prostate cancer, and just try to keep things interesting and mix it up to provide important facts about the disease.
And we realize that not everybody might feel that personal connection because it just might be too hard, or they might not know us personally, so they can't relate to it, but they can relate to these statistics because they're facts. I mean, they could possibly scare somebody into being like, I need to learn more about prostate cancer, I need to get involved because this could potentially affect me. Whereas they might not feel that personal connection. So we try to hit them both ways, with both the personal and then providing facts.
I would like to add that keep those facts or those shares short and to the point, because people will take the time to read them. If it's a very long, involved article, you're probably not going to get someone's attention to read all of that on a quick post on Facebook. So keep them concise.
And I'll just throw in there, this is Sean, I'll just throw in that, you know, our social media maven, Amanda, on the Zero team does a great job of sharing infographics and things that are totally shareable on all of our channels. So that's probably the quickest and easiest way, is just to see what she has posted up there and give that a share. The other thing that I like about incorporating what we call mission messages into your outreach is that I think your donors from previous years like to see their donation dollars in action. And this is a great way to exemplify that. So really, really great tip there, Megan and Tara and Cheryl. Are we ready for the next tip?
Yeah.
All right. This one I love too.
Pictures. So, you know, I think we're going to talk later about some other ways that we reach out to friends and family and potential donors to get donations each year. But, you know, a big way that we really do it is leveraging social media. Everybody's on it all the time, and it's a great way to reach a lot of people at once. One thing that, you know, you probably noticed this, you do it yourself, people are a lot more likely to stop at a picture and take a look at what it is, and probably when somebody just has a post with no images, they just scroll right through.
So we really love to share lots of pictures. We dig back and have found pictures from our childhood that we've taken a picture of or scanned in, or use new pictures that show us in action, right? Show us at the race, show how much fun the race is. We've got pictures of the runners, pictures of our team, photos of the kids race. We just try to put a lot of info out there to, one, grab people's attention, but two, just to show everybody how much fun the race could be and make people want to join us for it.
And in line with pictures, if you're brave enough, videos probably get even more attention. We don't really like being on videos, so we rather just have those still shots of us. But if you're brave enough to go ahead and post a video of yourself and make it public and put it on social media, I'd say go for it.
Awesome. I love that too. I think that's a great tip. So I just want to remind everybody that if you have any comments or questions, you can type it into the Q&A box, and we'll make sure that we allow for time to share what you guys have to say and to answer your questions before the end of the meeting there. You girls ready for the next tip? Mm-hmm. All right.
So I'm going to talk about consistency, and that's a very important thing to keep your effort going all 12 months of the year. So it's not just at race time, it's all year long. It's not just Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So one of the things that we are involved in is the summit, which happens in February each year. And if you're not already going to that, I highly recommend that. Not only is it filled with information and you get to meet so many other people that are working along with you doing this, but you also get to go on Capitol Hill and speak with your congressmen, your senators, your representatives, and advocate for prostate cancer and make people aware of how important it is to you. And that is a perfect place to share your personal story and tug at their heartstrings, and also know that you may actually be coming across people that have prostate cancer or certainly know someone who does. Another thing we do is we do health fairs, and we have one in our town that we do. We try to attend that each year and talk to as many people as we can. One thing that I do is anybody I come across, I somehow manage to work prostate cancer into the conversation, and that's if it's my plumber or if it's somebody coming out to put a roof on the house. And, you know, it's not a comfortable thing for some people to hear about, but once you start explaining it to them and telling them the importance of getting a PSA test and what happened to my husband because he didn't have one in time, they really start listening and get more comfortable with you talking about their personal parts that maybe they don't want to talk about. So take advantage of working it into any conversation you have with just about anybody, and you'll be surprised at how receptive they are. We were on a vacation a few years ago, and we happened to be in Italy, and the woman who we rented from said her father-in-law had died from prostate cancer, and her husband refused to go for a test. And she asked if I would talk to him about it because she knew our story. And I talked to the gentleman, and when we were leaving, she hugged me and said he made an appointment to go 2 days later. So you'd be surprised at how you reach people and how they are willing to think about it and do it. So just make it part of your daily mission that if a situation arises where you could spread the word to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing I would say about being consistent is it shows your friends and family that you're not just about prostate cancer when you're trying to raise money for the race. You're about raising awareness about it all year, and it shows how important it is to you and your family and how involved you are, and it kind of keeps it on people's minds.
And in turn, it could actually help your fundraising efforts. We've had several years where I feel like people donated a lot of money who I haven't even talked to that frequently, and they did it because they see our passion, and it makes them feel good to know that somebody is doing something like this and that they care so much. They may be people who had a parent die from a different type of cancer, and it moves them to see how involved we are with this. So they go ahead and make donations that are sometimes, I think, of fairly large sums. So your passion year-round makes a difference when it does come to fundraising as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to just echo what they're saying. As a chapter director, one of the things that I always encourage our Run Walk participants to do is, get started with your fundraising early. It doesn't have to just happen the week of the race. In fact, it should be happening, I think, a little earlier. Sometimes, the budget for your potential donors is tight the week of the race. So instead, you're going to be talking to them all year round. So even folks like Dee Dee, for example, who did the Run Walk with the Nikituks in June in DC, you guys can actually still be fundraising right now. Your pages are still up and live, and they probably will be until the end of the year. So there's no reason why you can't take advantage of that and be consistent all year round. All right, so are we ready for the next tip?
Yeah.
All right, girls.
So we always try to be as creative and catchy as possible, and it's probably because I come from an arts background and I work at an engineering firm. So I need to get my release somewhere, and it tends to be in the post for Zero. And we also are obsessed with our dogs, and they are cute and adorable, so they come in handy when it's trying to advertise for Zero. I think one of the things to think about when you're doing this, you're catching people's attention by not just, blatantly asking for money or showing something cute, but you can then also post a picture of your dog, but then in your hashtags have things about your dog, but then also have hashtags for prostate cancer, and there's a good chance that you're going to draw people in looking and learning about prostate cancer who may have just been looking at a hashtag for a dog. So it's a good way to kind of bring in a new audience when you think maybe, your spread, your reach isn't going very far. Adding those types of hashtags can make your reach go farther.
And it doesn't have to be your dogs, right?
Yeah,
A bunch of people use kids or other catchy things. For us, it's our dogs. But
And cats, lizards, whatever you want to do. But if you find a creative way to do something, you should. And kind of as Sean was saying, you can fundraise all year round. And on the 10th year which was the 10th race for Zero Capital Area, and it was also our 10th year participating in the 10th year since my father had passed away, we got really into it, and we really hit it all year long. And we tried to be consistent with using that one photo. We used it in all of our kind of like marketing, I guess, but we mixed it up and tried to make it cute and clever using holiday themes or what was popular culture. Beauty and the Beast came out that year, so we tried to be catchy with that. And then also just taking old pictures and making it personal, telling stories, making art out of kind of what you're doing really helps, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have some of the most beautiful graphics that I've ever seen. You can really see that your outlet and your passion align there, Megan. Really good stuff.
Luckily, we have Megan to do that.
That's right. That's right.
So now we're going to talk kind of about like messaging in action, and this is kind of going over some of the stuff that we've already discussed and some of the stuff that we'll continue to discuss, and just so you could see kind of how it works. So here in this message, this is our actual, this year, this was our fundraising page. So again, we updated it to make it personal. We have there within the little red section is our personal story about our dad. Then we go into the details about the race. We make sure we tell people how thankful we are and show our gratitude for the support that they give. In the green section, those are some of the statistics. And then, again, we have pictures up there in the top in the blue box. So we're tying together all of what we think works to help fundraise, and it's all here in one place. So it can work, I guess.
No, I'm going to chime in here because it absolutely does work when you personalize your own fundraising page. So when everybody registers for a Zero Run Walk or even a do-it-yourself or an endurance event, they're given a standard web page to do their fundraising with. And you can tell that it's standard because it's standard copy and it's got a standard picture in it. And one of the things that I am constantly trying to encourage people to do is to take a few minutes to log into their participant center and make this a personal message, because you can see, if you look at one of the standard copy pages that clearly looks like it's standard versus what the ladies have done here, how much difference that makes in the presentation. And I think it really shows your donors, one, that this really is important to you, two, that you're not just hitting them with a spam kind of a message, And three, it also really kind of tells your story for you so that you don't have to repetitively be emailing or doing that. You can do it right there in your own link. So when people in my chapter register for a run walk, I share with them a video message. It's a little 5-minute video about how to personalize your page. It's my attempt to give a tool to you so that you can learn how to do that in your participant center. And of course, if you ever need assistance with it, you can always reach out to your Zero representative for help or call our helpline at 202-303-3110, and we'll be happy to help show you how you can really make this page work for you.
Yeah. And also with this one, you can only upload one photo, and in our opinion, one photo is no fun. So we went ahead and made our own little collage. So, I mean, I don't know how big it ends up really showing when you see it on the page, but at least we have all of our pictures there.
Yeah. And I think it really does help, from the other side, getting emails often from friends asking for donations. Oh, I'm doing this. Or, a lot of people are doing races and things these days, and you can definitely tell a difference when you get that email or click on the link about somebody who's maybe just signed up to it because they love to run and they, want to go run versus somebody who really has a passion for it. And it makes you more likely to donate because you can't donate to everything.
That's right.
And once you personalize that page the first year, you can use that information and just update it a little each year and just make some changes. So it's not like you're reinventing the wheel every year. Your personal story pretty much will remain the same, and then you could update with different things maybe that you did that year to help.
That's a great tip, Cheryl. Thanks.
And so then here's messaging in action too. Just this is a Facebook post. Another key, I think when you're doing Facebook posts, tag the people you're doing this with. So every time I do a post about prostate cancer, I tag my mom and my sister in it, or somebody else who might have been related to it somehow. Sometimes when people donate, if they don't donate anonymously, we sometimes will thank them and tag them in a Facebook post because that might make some of their friends see that and think, oh, but now that people can hide things from their timeline, I don't know if it works so much as well as it used to, but it's an idea. But again, in this post, we made sure we had a personal message, but then we also added a statistic in there too, and then of course pictures.
I just want to say hi, Ruben and Jeannie.
Team Nikituk has fans. We like it. All right, let's talk a little bit about this next one.
Okay, so in addition to posting on Facebook and sharing on social media, we also leverage email because obviously, not everybody's on Facebook. Not, like Megan was just saying, not everything shows up in everybody's Facebook feed. So in the months leading up to the race, we usually send out several emails. We do one kind of when we initially set up our fundraising page. And then, try to do one maybe a couple months before, and then as we get closer to the race, we'll send them out a little bit more frequently. Try to tailor them a little bit each time. Just some tips that I've used over the years with the emails. One thing I know I've been doing recently is rather than using the fundraising tool, there's a lot of great things in the tool that make it really easy to send out an email. But I will often take our contact list and dump it into my Gmail account and send the email out from there. People are more likely to open the email when it comes from an individual person that they know. A lot of times, while those bulk email systems are great, a lot of times they end up dumping the email into a spam folder or a promotions folder, and it's less likely to be seen. So, that's one tip. Another thing I do every year, just in case, and maybe this is just me, but at the end of the year when we've accumulated all of our donor information in the Zero fundraising page, I extract all the email addresses out. We often pick up, get, especially from Facebook and other places, new donors whose email addresses maybe I don't have. So we try to kind of keep all that information just in case the platform changes and we don't have it or something in the future. So I just think, emails are another great way to get the word out. We figure if we try as many different methods as we can, and we always notice we'll send out an email and we get a spike in donations for a couple of days after that. So they definitely do work.
Mm-hmm. And do you, I see here that you have another photo collage in here. Do you like to use pictures in your emails that you're sending out to people?
I do. I try to put a picture in just because I always think it's fun. You know, it makes, to me, pictures just make everything more personal. So we try to do that. We try to do the same thing with the emails, putting a little bit of information about why we do this, information about the race, when it is, what time it is, when people like to sign up. And we switch it up. Sometimes I use the same email back to back. Usually we try to, you know, say, oh, the race is only this many days away, or give people updates in terms of how much we've fundraised and how much we have left to go. So we try to vary it a little bit, but keep it short because people are only going to read so much.
And we actually, like for us, we actually created a Team Nikituk email account that we use, which is great because it really kind of helps us keep things straight. But then I know personally for me, when I'm going to reach out to my colleagues at work and I don't want it to look like it's a mass email coming from something, which they might already be on our mass email list, but like if I've noticed that some people who normally donate haven't donated, or we have some new employees and they are really friendly, I might send out just then a message at work to those people separately, and I think that little kind of personal thing then happening that way is also helpful.
The other thing that I want to point out is that you guys actually have a really great subject line. Team Nikituk is supporting prostate cancer awareness. Can you help us? So this is one of the things that I think is super key to people opening your email, is having a good subject line. If you write in zero or zero run walk, most people outside of our community don't have any idea what that is, and so it's not as personal of a subject line as it could be. I like to use the, hi, Jim, this is Sean, you know, because then they're like, if I'm friends with Jim, he knows that, you know, oh, this is a legit email. This is just Sean emailing me, and then he'll open it. So something really personal along those lines. I love that. Can you help us? Because that kind of leads them into wanting to open it. You hook them with the great pictures, and then, as you guys can see here, the email actually isn't all that long. They put all the story into their fundraising page, and all they had to do was stick the link in there so people could click on it to follow it if they want to learn more. So
and
I think that's great.
And sometimes, you know, one thing I was more hesitant about that I've gotten over as we've been doing this for years, and you know, really feel important about raising money for zero, is sometimes you might feel like you're being a nuisance, like, oh, I already emailed them. And, you know, sometimes I just step back and think, Pottery Barn sends me 2 emails every day, right? I'm only sending 1 every couple of weeks, so it's really not that bad. And it's a reminder for people. People are busy. People forget. I mean, year after year, we have people that we know always donate to our team, and will often always wait until the last minute. And, you know, when they get that last email, they do it. And so it's not people are like, oh, thank you for sending me that. I knew it was on my list of things to do. I keep forgetting.
And when it comes to sending emails, that's something to think about. Like, think about you and how you are at work, and what time do you open emails at, or like what's there. Like, I know a lot of times I will send, like when I need something important to be done, I'll send it around 10:30 because I figure people settled in already at work. They maybe read their emails that came the night before, early that morning, and they're before lunch. So it's like picking days and times when you think people do pay more attention certain times of the day and certain days of the week. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're sending that kind of stuff out.
That is a great tip, Megan, because let's think about this. Don't send out your request at 6 or 7 o'clock on a Friday night when everybody is out, and that email is going to end up getting buried by the time it gets looked at. I think that's a really great tip to think about the timing of it.
And that is something that we really have put thought into, and is doing it that way.
Yep. All right, wonderful. So the next thing we're going to chat about, we've touched on a little bit here and there. Oh, my graphic is all messed up here. Sorry about that, guys. So fundraising with Facebook. Facebook has actually here in the last month or 2 created an awesome new tool for us in their app, and you can log into your participant center, click on this pop-up box, which this is an example of here, and click on the link there to get your Fundraising with Facebook app set up. It will automatically connect to your Zero Run Walk account now, which is awesome. So when those donations come in, they're automatically going to hit your Run Walk thermometer. And super, super easy to use. I'm just going to share a little bit more here that When you log into your Facebook, you'll see that you can actually get in. You can change your personal message. I just actually did this for the Charlotte race coming up, happens to be coming up on my birthday. And so I set up a registration. I logged into my participant center. I then went over to Facebook, and I basically copied and pasted exactly what I had in my fundraising page into my Facebook fundraiser content so that I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I just wanted it to be consistent amongst both of them. So you can change that content there and make sure your message is personal, and then boom, you're done. There are other fancy things that you can do in your Facebook app once you get in there and get to know it a little bit better, but these are the basics. Log into your participant center, click on that pop-up box, and get that app set up for you. We had a guy at our Asheville race last week who waited until the week before the race to use this app. And he wrote to me immediately, and he said, that was the easiest fundraising I've ever done. I just raised $70 in an hour. And I was like, nice. So definitely an easy tool to use that we highly recommend for you guys. All right, let's move on to events.
Okay, so another tip, kind of getting out of the social media email spectrum, is to have a fundraising event. And there are so many different ways you can do this that range from super easy to lots and lots of work. And, you know, I think what we do is something kind of in the middle. When you want to think about like super easy, there are lots of restaurants out there who will just have a fundraising night for a cause. You know, Chick-fil-A, I've seen Cava, I don't know if that's everywhere. Kendra Scott is a store that does that, and it's really easy. It's just people who come in that night, say they're there for that cause, they automatically donate 10% or whatever. So that's really easy. And I've been to restaurants before, like where I'm waiting online and I'm not there particularly for that, and somebody says, oh, well, you know, tell them you're here for our cause and get a donation. So that's really easy. I think what we've been doing the past few years is something a little bit more in the middle of the spectrum, and we have been hosting a fundraising event at one of the local restaurants in our town. They're, you know, been really great to us. They pretty much have let us set up there for the majority of the day, set up a table, put out information about Zero, and, you know, put out some Zero wristbands and bracelets and fun information facts, fact sheets and things like that. And, you know, we've done some things. We've done raffles while we do it. We've gone around to the other local restaurants and asked, would you give us a $25 gift card that we could raffle off? And it's surprising sometimes how easy it is to just, you know, for a restaurant to donate one of those, because for them it helps them with advertising. The restaurant's also been willing to put out information on the tables and in the billfolds, even in the week leading up to the event. And then it's kind of like a dine to donate fundraiser. People who come in, a percentage of the proceeds get donated back to us for Zero. This restaurant is really nice, and they have a fun bartender who, every time we've done this there, has made a special blue prostate cancer drink for us that they have their waitresses kind of help advertise and encourage people to purchase and give proceeds from that to the cause as well. So, you know, it's just a fun way to, one, spread awareness, also get kind of your, you know, friends and family to come out and just have a, you know, fun day, sit and relax. We got lucky this year. The restaurant actually brought in a band for us, which really proved, I think, to be helpful. There were a lot of people at the restaurant that night who weren't there for the prostate cancer fundraiser. And the band had my sister come up and kind of say a little bit about why we were there, and it was amazing how many people came up to us then and asked us questions or told us they were a survivor and wanted to buy raffle tickets or make a donation. So it was just a really great way to meet new people and spread awareness as well as raise money.
And I'd have to say something that helps, and it probably doesn't sound that great to say, is the more people drink, the more they're willing to donate. So if you can do something at an establishment or like it is a later time, like we were there, we left this place, at 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
So we were there late, and that's partially because the band didn't start until like 9. But the people who were coming in at that time had been drinking a little bit, and maybe earlier in the day weren't willing to give us $20, and the next thing you know, we're giving us $20, and then coming back and being like, oh, here, I feel bad for you, have $10 more. So that kind of helped a little bit. And also, as part of our raffle this year, we did a 50-50, and ended up being a benefit to us because the person who won donated their percentage back to us, which ended up being a good amount because of that band telling people to buy raffle tickets from us. And also, with the prostate cancer special, with the drinks this year, we made signs for it that were right on the door. So as people came in, they already knew they knew something was happening at the restaurant because they saw a sign for drinks. But
yeah.
So that helped.
But overall, it was easy. We didn't have to put a ton of effort into it. We sent messages out to our friends, but because the restaurant was willing to donate from anybody who was there dining that night, we didn't have to, promise to get 50 or 100 people to show up. So, and I think you'll find a lot of local businesses especially will be willing to do things like that.
And if you have a restaurant that you frequent a lot, that you've set up a relationship with the people, that really makes it easier. These people really like us at this restaurant, and they're just very nice and good people. So, they work with us so well each year, and we appreciate certainly what they do for us.
Yeah, I can attest. Team Nikituk, these ladies are Manassas celebrities, especially at this restaurant. And I think Cheryl, you just made a really good point. We actually have in the toolbox on your Run Walk page, there's a fundraising kind of toolkit. And there is a list of restaurants that we know of that do these Dine to Donate nights. I, though, encourage people to talk to restaurant establishments that they go to frequently and that are locally owned. Because when they're locally owned, they're able to do some more things outside of the corporate policy that some of the chain restaurants are locked into. So really great tip.
And you can use some peer pressure, too. Like when we were going around asking for raffle donations, I said, we're having Mariachi's is hosting a fundraiser for us, and all these other restaurants have already given us a gift card. Would you be willing to donate? And you find, okay, I better do this. I don't want everybody else to look good and not me. Sure. They don't want to feel left out.
Yeah. All right, great. Let's talk about this cool fundraising idea.
Okay, so one other thing, that we've done is kind of hosting an at-home party. These are things, I personally am an Arbonne consultant, so that's why we've done Arbonne before, but, if you think about companies like Pampered Chef, 31, the jewelry parties, there's lots of them out there. Everybody's having these all the time. You don't have to do them at your house anymore. Lots of people are just doing them online now in Facebook groups and sharing information about the product. And I think you'll often find the consultants who have these businesses are happy to donate their proceeds in some way because in the end it's getting them more customers and helping get the word out about their product. And, people like to help out a good cause or help out a friend. And so I think, if you reach out to people in these types of businesses, we're doing one. My mom's hosting one in September for Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And all the, purchases, I'm going to donate the proceeds back to zero. And, I think we've gotten, we've had some friends host parties for us in the past with other products, and then I've done it several times. And you can often, raise between $200 to $500 just from the proceeds from one of these parties. So it's a great way to add some, be creative about coming up with extra ways to build your total fundraising.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea. In fact, one of the things that we've been working on with one of our partners, which is Mustache Vineyards, is doing like a wine party and being able to get proceeds from doing some wine orders. So if y'all want to learn more about that, reach out and ask your Zero rep about it. But I know I'm excited about that. I think that's pretty neat.
And if anybody wanted to have a party, I'm always happy to donate proceeds. So.
All right.
And also, I would also mention that when you do host a party that's a fundraiser, a lot of times people that maybe would just buy one little thing are more apt to buy more because they feel they're contributing to something worthwhile. So.
Absolutely. It's a very good reason to buy more. All right. So let's talk about the most important thing maybe when it comes to fundraising.
So we have never not been grateful for everything that everybody has done for us. And pretty much we were shocked the first year we did it and the second and the third, and we're still amazed that after doing this for 11 years, we have the commitment of so many people that are so kind to us each year that just donate and make it wonderful for us and do so much to help raise awareness and help research and just all the wonderful things. And we found that one of the things that we do is I have always hosted a pasta dinner just to thank the people. Obviously it's not for carbs because most of the people that are coming aren't running the next day, but just to thank them for being there, and for supporting us, people that supported us when Paul was ill and after he died. And so we were very fortunate that we have these people in our lives. There are some pictures from past pasta dinners. We also make sure that each year we make a personalized thank you card that, of course, contains pictures of the events of the day and of different things throughout that year that we mail out, not thank yous on an email or Facebook thank you to all, which we already do that, but we send out a personal thank you, and we usually try to do it during Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And I was brought up to send thank you notes, and I will always do that, and I feel that it's the least we can do is to create a card, have it printed, and get some stamps to send out to the people that keep supporting us year after year. So I think that nobody should ever expect anything from anyone as far as donations. We are very lucky that we keep getting them, and we will always be thankful for that. We always want to make sure that we do show our gratitude, and that, even if it wasn't a good year, no matter what, we're going to show our gratitude. So that's important.
Something that we do after every race, we try to make sure we get a team picture. Or some of our coworkers came or whoever came. We always want to get pictures with them while we're there because we want to show that we're excited about them being there and that we're thankful that they're there and that, so we just try to keep them involved even once they're there to make them part of the experience and make them maybe want to do it again. And also, if we have a friend who's going to help out Zero in another way, like we have somebody who actually wants to run marathons, and remember, we made sure we were there supporting her that day because, we weren't going to run a marathon for Zero, but she was willing to do it. So, you could always show your support back to your friends as a way of thanking them as well.
Absolutely. So I think, definitely think that, offering gratitude is the most key thing that you can do, no matter what size the donations are. Making people feel great about contributing certainly will make them more likely to support you again the next year or the following time. And I've actually, gotten some thank you cards over the years that are done by Vistaprint, right? So really easy. You snap some of those pictures, go to Vistaprint, and you can make a nice little postcard or a regular, card if you want to, really, really pretty easily. So I definitely think that that's a great idea. If you are planning to do an email thank you, at the very least, put a lot of pictures in it, right? And so I definitely think that that's an important point there.
Yeah.
So.
And then you'll go to somebody's house and you'll see your thank you note hanging on the refrigerator with a magnet. And so that's another way of spreading the word, because if somebody happens to come in and visit them and say, oh, what's that, blah, 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 they might start talking about prostate cancer. So it's another thing that's out there to spread the word.
And it's a great way to kind of provide, closure or wrap up the event. A lot of times you donate to somebody and you never see the fun they had or what happened at the race or how much money they ended up, how successful they were with their fundraising efforts. So it's a nice way to just kind of thank people and say, oh, hey, by the way, here's what you helped us do. And, here's the great cause that we're helping. And just another reminder, too.
And those sites always have discount codes. And if they don't have it one week, just possibly wait for the next week to print them, because there's a good chance they're going to have a discount code for
That's true, too. Awesome. Well, Team Nikituk, this has been awesome. You've given a lot of tips and tricks. We've saved the last 10 minutes of the hour for us to hear from our folks on the line. So I'm going to go ahead and take everybody off of mute now. And so if anybody has something that they'd like to ask one of the ladies, or
the conference is no longer in listen-only mode.
So if anybody has anything that they want to share or ask Team Nikituk, now would be a great time to do it. Nobody has any questions for the girls? I know I have one question for you guys.
Okay.
My question is that after 11 years of raising an average of $10,000 a year, are you seeing people back off of it?
So, not really. I mean, so
The
I'm
conference has been muted.
I keep a spreadsheet. I'm a little anal about things like that. So I kind of keep a spreadsheet. It's like the CPA and me to help track things. And I think what we see is our total fundraising dollars have been really steady over the years. We raise approximately the same amount, same range each year. And we have supporters who have supported us absolutely every year, attended the race with us every single year we've done it. And then you have people who do on and off, you know, sporadically, or maybe they do it for a few years and then they stop. But what we found is by all of these efforts of getting the word out in all these different ways and meeting new people and, you know, utilizing Facebook, is we get new donors each year too. So while we probably lose some donors every year, we get new ones. And I think we've just been really fortunate and blessed that, you know, we continue to get so much support.
And people like see us as like as the prostate cancer people. I don't know, because there might be some years where we've never, all of a sudden we get a donation from somebody that we've known for like maybe since high school or something, and they see our posts, and then all of a sudden they donate, and then they send a message saying, oh, I just found out my uncle got prostate cancer. And because they're aware that we do this year after year, whereas maybe they never felt the need or desire to donate before, you never know when prostate cancer might pop up in their life and then decide it's time for them to donate.
Yeah, and even if they're not making a donation, it's been nice to feel like we've helped people who just reach out and say, oh, I see all your posts about prostate cancer. My dad was just diagnosed. Do you have any tips or, you know, what should we do next? Any, you know, resources we could refer to? And of course, we always point people back to Zero. But
yeah, that's great. So Emily just wrote in, and she's asking, does Team Nikituk do anything special with your team at the race itself? Like, do you do special shirts, decorations? What kind of fun stuff do you do at the race?
So over the years, we've done a little bit of everything. One year we made ourselves Team Nikituk visors. One year there were Team Nikituk shirts. Another year we made these pins. So we've done little different things like that each year, just kind of mixing it up. One of the things that are hard is we also try to stay within a budget. We don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on something that maybe people might not care about. So that's something to keep in mind.
That, and looking back, I think, you know, we kind of started with Team Nikituk years ago. Had we used a different name that wasn't our name, I mean, I'm not sure how many people want to buy a T-shirt that says somebody else's last name on it.
That's true.
So, you know, so I think sometimes the creativity of the name of your team, right, can help with that. But, you know, we do always try to gather together with our team. We always get a team picture, and always make sure that we talk to while we're there, everybody who came to join us for the day, and you know, make that contact.
And then many of the people stay afterwards with us, and we all get brunch together while we're there. So the day lasts a little bit longer, and we spend more time together with quite a few people. This year, Sean joined us as well. So
well, you're hungry after doing a 5K, you know?
Yeah. You work all year for this event, so it's kind of nice to have it last just a little bit longer.
And we're thankful because we have friends who have literally done it all 11 years with us. My friend has a son who has done it every year of his life, including when she was pregnant with him. So, you know, it's like, it's special. Like, it's a nice time to get together too with friends we don't always see all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Mike Ross in Harrisburg, one of our champs in Harrisburg, he's asking, how do you guys keep your team members motivated and excited? It's one thing to keep yourself involved, but how about the rest of the team?
Well, we don't really have many other team members that raise much money for us, but we have some that do every year. And again, I think for them, I just think it's partially just who they are as people. And the people who do raise money for us, they're just really good-hearted people. And we never expect anybody else to try to raise money for us, but I mean, when they do, and then we also, like, our personal friends who have their personal pages that go to our team, we make sure our thank you cards go out to their people who contributed to them as well, because we want to thank, you know, them, because really they did it, while they did it for their friend who's on our team, they ultimately did it for us.
Yeah. And most of our donations come from individual donations. Basically, the people that sign up for our team, some of them do fundraise, but most of them sign up to be part of the team that day, to run or walk with us and be there that day. So our team isn't necessarily made up of a lot of people that are fundraising within the team, but we get a lot of individual donations from many, many people.
Yeah, I think we don't ask that of our, you know, because they're just friends. We're so happy they're supporting us in the first place. And then, you know, some of them do and some of them don't. I think that can be different. Like when you have more of a corporate environment and maybe you have a corporate team, you can incentivize people and kind of use incentives like that to get more people to participate or raise money.
Sure. Mike agrees.
Yeah, Mike definitely agrees. I will say that I just saw a big team at our Asheville race who did do a team effort for their fundraising, and the team captain just would send out little emails about once a week to everybody and say, all right, guys, we've raised $2,500. We're halfway to our $5,000 goal. And so every week he was just sharing like a quick little message about where they were at with their goal. And then the week of the race, they were still a little shy of their $5,000 goal. So he rallied everybody like, come on, guys, I really want to take home the award, you know, and kind of leveraging that stuff. So I think, you know, just, again, that consistent messaging, Mike, probably will be helpful to you in keeping your team engaged. You don't have to hammer them over the head, but just maybe once a week sending them a little kind of status report, if you will, about where things are going. So Leanne asked a really great question here. She said, okay, we've presented a lot of different ideas. For somebody who is a first-time fundraiser, where do you begin? Like, what's the easiest way to ease yourself into fundraising? What would you guys say to that?
I would say personalize your page. That would be my first thing. And I would get stuff out on social media. I think that probably Facebook, emails, those are going to be your main ways of getting your initial amount of donations in and making people aware. So that's the easiest way, I think, to spread it out there.
And I would say the first thing is kind of what our first tip was, make it personal. Post something on Facebook. You know, over the years, I think things have shifted. It used to be emails, got more donations. I think now it's probably social media. Post something, post a picture to help show why you're doing it, and kind of give a brief description of why you're doing it, what pulls you in, and I think that's really what grabs people's attention.
A lot of times what we do too is we really rarely flat out ask for money. It's more like we're just putting a statement out there and then the link with it, or we're just saying join our team, because you never know, you might find that rock star out there who wants to raise money for you as well, or has 20 friends who love to run and gets them all to join your team. So that helps.
But always include your link in every single post or message you put out there.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Cheryl. Make sure you include your fundraising page link when you're doing it so that people can, so it's as easy as possible. All right, I'm going to bring everybody back off of mute again, just in case anybody has anything else.
The conference has been unmuted.
Does anybody else have any questions or want to make any comments to the girls? All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been phenomenal. I want to thank Cheryl, Megan, and Tara for sharing their expertise in this area. I hope you all enjoyed this. Please let us know if you'd like to see this again in the future. And thank you all for tuning in this evening. We have recorded this, so we'll make the recording available to you all probably on our YouTube channel, the Zero YouTube channel here early next week. Everybody have a good night, and thank you. Good luck with your fundraising. Our goal is to raise $2 million in the month of September with our 19 races. We can do it. I know we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. And you can always contact us anytime. Bye. Bye, Jeannie.